Giant is a 1999 film directed by Brad Bird and is quite simply one of the greatest animated films of all time. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching my show. Mom says I used up all the computer time. I hope you click the thumbs up emoji and register to be a channel friend. Check out my Minecraft channel, Minecraft with Mikey. Thank you. Okay. Oh, so I don't even know what I'm doing here. Oh my God. Who is this goofy dude?
Michael, what do you want for dinner?
Mom, no, I told you don't interrupt me when I'm streaming.
I got some pizza bagels.
Mom, I am in another realm right now.
Oh, they have these adorable little pepperonis on them.
Mom, there are no bagel bites in another realm. Before you write it in the comments, no.
Yeah, but is this ever going to be a real show?
No. It was written by Tim McCanley's, based on the screen story by Brad Bird, based on a novel by Ted Hughes. And another great film written by Tim McCanley's is the criminally overlooked and underrated Haley Joel Osment film, Secondhand Lions.
But did you know?
The actor that plays Hogarth in the film is no longer a child actor, but Eli Marienthal. But like all things that go up, they must come down hard.
Because Stifler's mom drives a moped.
Moped?
He played Stifler's brother in the American Pie film, so I guess Hogarth grows up and becomes a real D-hole, but at least he was in Country Bears looking like Guy Fieri's long-lost troll doll, so there's that. I'm going to level with you because this episode has taken me longer to put together than others. Part of that is because I'm terrified of expectations. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but you guys are kind of apeshit for this movie. It's a big film and, dare I say, a seminal film for so very many people. Doubly so with the expectations. This is the first animated film that I've done on the show, and not least of which because so very, very many of you have been asking for an animated film since almost the beginning. I could probably wax poetically about all the little touches in this film. Hogarth is a normal kid, slightly rambunctious perhaps, but intuitive and full of love to give. He just needs an outlet for it as a child of a broken home with a mother that works all the time. He becomes attached to Harry Connick Jr.'s, "Hey, where's he been?" Haircon totally blasted the doors off on Independence Day, did a few worthless rom-coms, and then he just kind of disappeared. I miss you, Harry Connick Jr. What was I saying? Oh yeah, Hogarth is really just attempting to find his place in the world, but the most telling aspect of his journey is that we never really see him interacting with other children, but he does very much just want to grow up. And one of my favorite examples of this in the film is the scene where Hogarth drinks espresso because he's attempting to be like Dean. To put a nice spin on the trope, in the next scene we get a role reversal because Hogarth is the adult and then Dean is the child.
Bonus, but did you know?
It was so important to Brad Bird to get the mannerisms and the manic energy of a young boy on Starbucks crack right that he did the rough pencil animation on this scene himself. And my God, is this film absolutely beautiful from start to finish. The animation, quite purposely, is a throwback in style, attempting to recreate the look of a vaguely Cold War-era America in the style of the period at which it resides in. All the little touches, the little flourishes of life that crop up organically in scenes to give us a glimpse of what day-to-day life was like back then for a young boy trying to matter to the world around him. And before diving too far into the character of the giant in the film, I'm going to tackle something that I saw on Twitter and in the comments of the Hitchhiker review. Many of you were quick to point out that this is the greatest Superman movie ever made. And I can certainly roll with that, though I did already call The Rocketeer the greatest Superman movie ever made, so you kind of put me in a weird position here, guys. I mean, yes, the giant does learn how to be Superman in a very literal sense, so it's a bit tough to argue the point, and I think you can make the case that the Iron Giant, despite very literal allusions to Superman, is actually more of a Spider-Man film, because the one thing the giant has to learn is responsibility. He is the one with the power that can save a town on the brink of destruction, so it is him and only him that can do anything about it. Though he's voiced by Groot, so I can't keep up all superhero shit. And not only that, but he also struggles with his own identity. We are never explicitly told that he was created as a weapon, but we do watch him struggle against himself to not allow his destructive capabilities to be his purpose in the universe. It's easy to make a case that he was created as a weapon, but he chooses not to be that, like Spider-Man. But to push it a level deeper, I think you can make a case that the film is actually saying whatever the world expects you to be, you can really just choose to be Spider-Man or Superman or Black Canary. I mean, you do you.
Super extended extra bonus, but did you know?
I was 17 when this film came out, and I remember being quite infatuated with the, for lack of a better term here, special effects in the movie, though they're hand-drawn just like everything else. There's such a fluidity to them, and that really resonated with me. It left a very real impression on me how abstract shapes were animated to create such a sense of motion and life out of the events happening on screen in the film. Much, if not all is tough to be sure, but let's say most of the work was done by one Michel Gondry. You might not know his name, but you definitely know his animation work from films like An American Tail, The Land Before Time, Rock-a-Doodle, Demolition Man. How did I not know that when I did the video? Space Jam, and a whole host of other movies, both animated and live action. And Michel is a legend that I actually got to work with on Gearbox's newest game, Battleborn. That's why the beautiful special effects in our game look strikingly like the special effects in the Iron Giant. They were animated by the same person, so sometimes the world is a lot smaller than you think it is. Aww. I was actually struggling a bit with this piece until one of my friends, Leals, asked me to have a conversation about it. As we dug deeper, it became clear that our age difference, though slight as it is, changed what the film meant to people generally younger than me. Oh God, I'm old. What I mean is, since around, let's say, August 1942, also known as the month that Bambi came onto the scene, there really haven't been a lot of films that teach children that young about the concept of death. Sure, you have Bridge to Terabithia or My Girl, but those are generally for older kids that are already very aware of the concept of death. Bambi is a movie you saw on a shelf while you're still eating paste and decorating the walls with your fecal matter and thought,
Hey, those are fuzzy. I like big mouse bears.
I didn't know what a deer was when I was 3. But then there's this moment, and suddenly your parents are forced to have an awkward conversation about the very nature of death. We are born, we live for a while, and then we don't. That's tough. That's a concept I haven't even really come to terms with yet myself. And the education of the reality of death has been something Bambi has helped parents with for going on 74 years now. Back to Leals and the Iron Giant, while I'm not debating that Bambi still served its place in the film landscape to educate the wee ones on what death actually is, suddenly the Iron Giant stepped in to educate slightly older kids on what death actually means. And this realization actually blew my mind a little because the movie is absolutely aware of this connection. Hogarth basically experiences his own personal and very real Bambi story within the context of this film's universe. While Bambi may have obscured the violent reality of a gunshot killing a deer, this film does not. You must experience it, you must live it, and you must confront it. The deer is alive, and now it is not. So we experience Hogarth experiencing the Bambi story and learning about the nature of life and death. That someday Hogarth himself will die. And with those stakes in play, the film teaches us a startling lesson about the fallibility of humans. The character Kent Mansley, representing the aforementioned fallibility and grossly xenophobic worldview of man, oh, I see what you did there, shows us that the fear of those that are not like us will ultimately destroy us. But the opposite is true. A very small group of people seem to get upset in the comments when I get political as I extrapolate the message of a film. But that's the nature of art. We might not agree or even like the message of a film that doesn't sit firmly within our worldview, but it does us no service to try and eradicate the underlying implications of morality inherent to it. In short, I don't think there's any argument as to the overall thematic message of this film. And it is simply this: people from another world, culture, country, city, or school may have grown up under a different set of circumstances than our own. But if you get to know them, you might find that they can expand your understanding of existence. Mr. Mansley is proven wrong repeatedly, and instead of simply admitting that he is wrong, he continues to manipulate a situation to get what he wants. A life form he does not understand. Dead. This drive blinds him so entirely that he is willing to nuke an entire town to get what he wants. The moment this hits him is the moment he realizes that he just killed every man, woman, and child in an entire town. In a hell-bent daze under the guise that he is protecting the people of the city, he essentially does the opposite. And if the real-world implications of this are not immediately obvious, then you have not been watching the news. No one asked this man to protect them. He is blindly driven by a false belief that something different than what he knows is dangerous and harmful. This happens every day. This happens every single damn day. And the realest piece of this is that the Iron Giant escaped a home destroyed by war, his entire species extinct, only to have war declared upon him because he's different. He's the last of his kind, and though he has yet to form a relationship with most of the people within the town, he sacrifices himself to save them anyway because there's no one else that can do it, and it is inarguably the right thing to do for the greater good. It does us, as a species, absolutely no benefit to espouse ideologies that prohibit us from expanding our understanding of the world and the people around us. This movie paints a picture where both Mr. Mansley and the Iron Giant are both fighting their programming, and in the Giant's case, his literal programming, but in the end, it is the Giant that is able to fight his, whereas Mansley simply cannot. And he works for the American government. Without hesitation, I can again admit that I have struggled with this episode, not because I didn't have anything to say about the film, but because the real-world events happening in America are so conducive to the message of the movie, I simply cannot emotionally separate them in my head. Preemptively, this is a half-hearted apology for talking about this, but at the same time, it feels reckless of me not to discuss it. So deep breath, this is about to get very, very real. If you care about me or my show at all, I beg you, I am pleading with you to give people a chance. While I never intended to talk about a tragedy like Orlando in my silly film show on the internet, I simply cannot ignore it because I have seen the vile heart that beats within us as a species, and I have read so many revolting condemnations of homosexuals and Muslims on every platform of social media, simply because they don't subscribe to the same ideology that we have been force-fed from an early age. How, given these events, could I not connect them to an awe-inspiring piece of art that speaks directly against that very thing? If we cannot give each other just a little breathing room to make sense of our ever-crumbling lives, then we have not yet earned our place in this world. It's bad enough we cannot simply love each other because we are all in this together, but it shatters my soul to know people have so much hate in their heart that they will spend the faint heartbeat of time they have on this planet trying to rob human beings of the love they have for others simply because of who they are. If the Iron Giant should have taught us anything, it's that one of the very people you condemn and ultimately attempt to eradicate might just end up saving your life. I'm sure that ending caught a few people by surprise, but I'm just giving you my thoughts on the film, and they happen to occur around the same time, and I simply could not emotionally separate them, and that was something I really wanted to say. If that offended you, I guess I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm not really going to say a whole bunch more, so I'm just going to jump into the votes for you guys. We got a Mendez again, a Kugler, and a Quran. I think those are pretty strong choices. Please leave your choice in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. And it would make me happy if you hugged somebody you care about tonight. See you later.